Yes, sir. Listen, bros. You see all of these super liberal movements, marches, empowerment groups, feminist groups, and whatnot. This woman right here, Megan Rapinoe, is the prototype of the leader, the women that are participating in all of these marches that are screaming Black Lives Matter. Meanwhile, they are lesbians. Meanwhile, they want to be a man, talking about equal pay, gender equality, blurring all of the lines because they want no lines. They're pansexuals. They go every way. That's none of my business. But the point of the story is this. If you're a lesbian and you already chose your lifestyle, why are you worried about abortion rights? What the hell does abortion rights have to do with your lifestyle if you're not getting penetrated by anything more than a strap on and some fingers? None of my business. But like I said, asking for the ones in the back, because brothers got to understand that sisters are getting programmed to actually support and push this bullshit. They're throwing tantrums on the internet talking about men shouldn't have the ability to make laws over a woman's body. Meanwhile, it takes two to tango. Not the point of the story. What does lesbian lovers, that lifestyle, have to do with heterosexual happenings? You have toxic, super liberal, feminazi females like Megan Rapinoe that are participating in all of these marches, talking about Black Lives Matter. Then on the flip side, encouraging black women to get abortions. Meanwhile, they're leading the race. About 15 million. The list goes on. All of these fetuses getting chopped up. All of the nations that could have been or never was because of women like this. Women like this are at the back of all of these movements, all of these groups. They don't want to see the black man progress with the black woman. They want to see all y'all compete with each other, be super independent, be super toxic. The list goes on. And then when you see a little group, you see a little march, it's made up of liberal Caucasians like this woman right here, feminazis that don't give a damn about the black family. When all of these groups, you see all of them talk, all of they shit talk, all of the tantrums and all of that bullshit, are they talking about family or are they talking about the rights of the woman? Pay attention. Megan Rapinoe, other women athletes back abortion rights at U.S. Supreme Court. Man, just look at this face right here. You're going to see this face in New York City, California, all across, Portland, Seattle. All of these toxic females, all of these toxic Caucasians with purple, pink hair, colorful bull rings. The list goes on. And they want to talk about Black Lives Matter. A group of prominent women athletes, including soccer star Megan Rapinoe and basketball standouts Diana Taurasi and Sue Bird, on Monday urged the U.S. Supreme Court to protect abortion rights in a case involving Mississippi's Republican-backed bid to ban the procedure after 15 weeks of pregnancy. Abortion opponents have asked the court, which has a 6-3 conservative majority, to overturn the landmark 1973 Roe v. Wade ruling that recognized a woman's right to end a pregnancy and made abortion legal nationwide after it was outlawed in certain states. More than 500 athletes and groups signed a friend of the court brief to the justices, including 26 Olympians, 73 professional athletes, and various athlete associations. They argued that abortion rights have helped the growth of women's sports and expressed concern that future athletes would suffer without those protections. Without the right to terminate a pregnancy, the physical tolls of forced pregnancy and childbirth would undermine athletes' ability to actualize their full human potential, the brief stated. Wow. So no longer is this just about women's rights. This is about the growth in women's sports. Does this make any sense? Just don't get triggered. Just think about that real quick. They're telling women it's okay to just be slightly irresponsible. Your career will still be there. So many women are worrying about their career instead of worrying about their family, worrying about their future, not understanding terminating pregnancy can affect you down the line. And at the end of the day, this is all about unplanned pregnancy, because this is not about condoms breaking. This is about these athletes sleeping around, college parties, getting sloppy, getting wasted, and getting dugged out. And then weeks down the line, they miss their period. Now they find out they're pregnant. They don't know what to do. How many stories are we going to find out like that? It's not about a woman and a man having protected sex and it slips up. Let's be honest and let's be real. More than most are not using protection, and that's the problem. But what does a lesbian have to do with this discussion? Asking for a friend. This is about the growth in women's sports. Not about the growth in families across the nation. It's about the growth in her full potential at being a human being in the society to participate in the growth of women's sports. Women's sports is on the decline because nobody's interested. As women athletes and people in sports, we must have the power to make important decisions about our own bodies and exert control over our reproductive lives. Rapinoe, a two-time World Cup winner and an Olympic gold medalist, said in a statement calling legislation curbing abortion rights infuriating and un-American. Let me read this again. As women athletes and people in sports, we must have the power to make important decisions about our own bodies and exert control over our reproductive lives. Just want sisters to pay attention to all of this nonsense and understand that lesbians have nothing to do with this conversation. Megan Rapinoe is a big-time attention whore talking about abortions. Now at first it was a woman's issue. First it was a woman's choice issue. Now it's a woman's health issue. Now it's a woman's sports issue. People got to stop falling for the okie doke and stop thinking that when somebody's telling you something that's going against the tide, that it's wrong. What do these super liberal lesbians have to do with the heterosexual lifestyle? Asking for several friends. Rapinoe has been outspoken on various political issues. Bird and Taurasi, both stars in the WNBA, both lesbians, like I said. They're not, like I in this article, when I heard about sports, writing up the 500 athletes, why are there no known woman athletes that are in regular relationships? And when I say regular, yes, I mean straight relationships. Because something irregular, you wouldn't have to force feed it down everybody's faces and throats, literally. Bird and Taurasi, both stars in the WNBA, helped the U.S. women's basketball team win the gold medal at this year's Tokyo Olympics. Taurasi is the WNBA's all-time leading scorer. Bird is married to Rapinoe. Our signatories included Ashley Johnson, the first black woman on the U.S. Olympic water polo team and also an Olympic gold medalist in Tokyo. None of that has to do with building a family. All of that is individual accolades. What the hell does that have to do with the family? What does it have to do with the growth of the communities? The Black Lives Matter, right? Since she's the first black woman, right? Since you want to throw that out there, where is her black family? Or is she another black lesbian? I get it. The Supreme Court on Monday has set oral arguments in the case of December 1. A ruling is due by the end of next June. Mississippi Attorney General Lynn Fitch, a Republican backed by abortion opponents, said in papers filed with the court in July that the Roe v. Wade ruling and the subsequent 1992 decision that affirmed it were both egregiously wrong and should be overturned. Mississippi's court filing marked the first time that the Republican-governed state, in seeking to revive a law blocked by lower courts, made overturning Roe v. Wade a central part of its argument. Like I said, fellas, you see all of these agendas that get pushed on the media. You see all of these toxic liberal females on your feed and they stories throwing tantrums, talking about this bullshit rather than talking about trying to build themselves or something more productive. But all of these toxic liberal females are falling for the okie doke because it's quote unquote women's rights and they couldn't be any more wrong. But they won't know, they won't find out until it's too late. They could hear a couple happy stories and whatnot to make them feel better about the decision. But like I said, fellas, It's all about you too. If you want to shoot inside the club, if you want, because it feels better than when you have a rubber on. It's your fault. If this woman wants to go ahead and get an abortion behind your back, that's on you. It's enough of that though. I'm out.